I know you want to see our next guest, and we're here. The truth is in here. Ladies and gentlemen, Dana Scully, Gillian Anderson. Let's have it. Give it up for Gillian Anderson. Unbelievable. Good to see you. Good to see you. There's a mic right behind you. Wow. It took me a minute to adjust, but they are deep. They are thousands deep.
Holy shit.
Exactly.
How many of you guys have been in a panel that I've been talking at before? About 5, okay. Everybody else, lower your expectations. How many
Go ahead.
How many of you were here for the last guy that just spoke? Yeah, lower them like way down. I don't have those kind of stories. He started telling me beforehand, Buddy started telling me that he was going to ask me about details of the shows and the episodes. And I warned him. I'm warning you now, I don't remember anything. And I'm really sorry in advance, but I don't remember anything.
Wait, you don't even remember when they abducted you and took you off? Yeah.
What season was that?
Exactly. Well, one thing I wondered, having looked at some of your recent work, I want to get the accent thing out of the way. Now, you can go seamlessly between a perfect British accent and a perfect American accent. And would you be willing to do a little bit of that today? Answer some of the questions in American English and some in British English.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it's contextual, right? It depends on who if you're being interviewed by a British interviewer, you usually are just spot on, right?
Right.
And so it would depend on if I started asking questions with a British accent then.
Yes.
Perhaps. Okay. So listen, 9 seasons. Dana Scully, it has defined a lot of what you do. I'm wondering, some of the takeaways that you have from, what it's done for you and your career.
Well, I don't think, I mean, it's hard to know. Okay. I mean, when I got this job, I had been living in, when I got this job, I'd been living in Los Angeles for about a year and a half out of work, and was on my last unemployment check when I got the job. So it made a big difference in my life, and I think over 9 years it made an absolutely massive difference in my life, and I wouldn't have had the opportunities to do the work that I've done since then, and wouldn't have met the father of my daughter, and lots of stuff like that.
Are you able to shake Scully, or are there I mean, I know in some of the work that you've done recently, there's a component of investigation, and so do you bring aspects of her always with you?
Can I sit on your side?
Absolutely. That is so much better. What is it?
Oh my God, that is so much better.
Why? What happened there?
I don't know.
I like this better.
All right.
All right.
I'm here. Okay.
It's like going to restaurants with my sister. There's always shifting about. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things I have been offered roles since Scully that are law enforcement officials, and the first one that I took after saying no to quite a lot, I took because I thought actually, potentially it's more challenging to play another law enforcement official and make it as different from Scully as I could, just in terms of really looking into the aspects of the character and not bringing any of Scully into it. But that's, you know, every character is different as it comes off the page, and I only really choose things that don't remind me of her, you know.
Right. Yet you did have nearly a decade of daily work that was just all training. I mean, it was better than acting school, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some of the new stuff I do want to touch on, and I know that we're going to open this up to questions in a little bit, but I read a little bit about the BBC Two thing, the fall, and pretty good. What have been the, you know, sort of the highlights for you of that program, and why'd you take it?
Well, it's a 5-part series, and the intention is that we'll do another season as well. And it is, I play a character called Stella Gibson, who is a detective superintendent, and she gets sent up to, it was shot in Belfast, she gets sent up to Belfast from the Metropolitan Police in London to do what's called a 28-day review, which is that when law enforcement is stalled on a case and can't seem to find enough clues to lead them to a murder. In this instance, a murder has taken place, and they can't figure out what's going on. They usually bring in a senior official, and to kind of oversee what's been investigated so far and where they might be missing things, but also in case there's been any dirty business. There's a politician involved. The politician's son is one of the suspects, and so it's somebody from the outside who has an objective view coming in to take a look at whether there's been any dirty business going on. And this was filmed in Northern Ireland? It was filmed in Belfast, yes. How different was that to, say, shooting, you know, in America domestically? Or there, I mean, is it... Well, I live in London. Right. And so, and I've shot quite a few things over in the UK, and I shot a film in Belfast before, and I'd shot a film in Dublin posing for Belfast. So I'm a little bit familiar with filming over there. And I mean, anywhere you film is slightly different and always the same. Their accents are different. But I play a Brit in Northern Ireland. Yeah. By the way, loved Any Human Heart, and you played kind of a. Did you all see that? Any Human Heart. You played a royal bitch in that show too, didn't you? I actually don't remember, but I've had 4 or 5 people come up and say that that's their favorite movie of all time, and I just realized I need to see it again because I don't remember it at all. Oh, it's really good. Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah. And yeah. By the way, you're lagging a little behind on the British accent, so we'll just keep it up. You know, don't you think? It's very. I wondered though, does it happen instantaneously, or do you have to actually consciously think about doing it, or does it just turn on and off? Well, I grew up in London, and it was my first. I learned how to speak by speaking. You know, that was my first language, so to speak. So when I'm around Brits, it comes back, and often just with everybody seeming to have an issue with it, I've tried while living over there not having it, and I sound like an asshole. So you just let it go? I sound just like mid-Atlantic, Eurotrash, stuck up. Yeah. So I just go with it. I have a little bit of that. Both my parents were born and raised in New Orleans, and when I go to the South, I begin to sound like a redneck a little bit more, like a Creole or something. But you want to? Are you guys ready? You want to open it up and let's just have the audience start firing away. And I think at this stage they're going to be queuing up in the aisles. And rock and roll. I don't want to be. I don't. Here we go. Well, oh yeah, to the right. Hi. Go ahead. Hi.
You're my childhood hero.
You're jumping up and down.
And I wouldn't be the person I was without you. And my question was, have you ever read X-Files fanfic, and was there a favorite story of yours?
Have I ever read what?
X-Files fanfiction, and if there was a favorite story of yours, and what is your favorite rating?
Wow, that's a three-part question then.
Is X-Files fan fiction different than the episodes?
It's where fans write stories about what they wish the people on the show would do.
Oh, no, I haven't. Tell me an example. Is it dirty?
You should just Google your name and /fic and just see what happens.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Wow. Are you serious?
Okay.
So you're going to Google that?
Oh, yeah. Next.
Yeah.
Hi, thank you for
Hi.
being here. It's very nice to talk to you. I wrote my question down because I'm nervous. So Scully has become kind of a feminist icon. I think the character embodies a lot of strength and sassiness. And I wonder if you feel...
And what? Sassiness?
Sassiness, definitely
Sassiness.
And I wonder if you feel particularly proud at your role in creating such a strong woman.
Such a sassy bitch.
Yep, absolutely.
I mean, so much of what Scully was on the page because of Chris and his very, very specific, defined idea of who she was. And so, I mean, without that, obviously there wouldn't be a Scully, but I felt like he'd informed who she was more than I did, kind of, because I was trying to do all different kinds of things there at the beginning, and he kept calling me up and telling me off. But I'm digressing. I have a tendency to digress. What was your question?
Do you feel proud that you've created just a lasting feminist icon?
I do. I feel proud to be a part of the show, and I feel I feel grateful to have had an opportunity to be with someone on a daily basis that I could stand to be with for 9 years. I think sometimes that's not necessarily the case, and I'm very grateful that that was my experience. And also, you know, she was kind of cool. Stella Gibson's cooler, I have to say, than Scully. I hate to say, but she was pretty cool, and yeah, so I'm grateful for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Gillian. Like many people who were obsessed with the show, I spent too much time trying to dissect what was the nature of your relationship with David Duchovny off the screen. And the most I could gather...
Me too.
I know. I'm sorry.
What is going on?
I know. Like, you know, people want the fantasy to extend into real life. So I was always interested that it seemed like you guys had not a quite simpatico relationship, and I'm wondering if there was any funny stories you can tell about, like, deliberately pranking him or irritating him or, you know, something like that that we might find interesting.
Well, you know, it was tricky sometimes. And, to be careful.
That's a yes, I think.
You know, there were times that neither of us wanted to be there, and there were times that one of us did and one of us didn't. And we were, you know, I think David said in an interview at one point that it was like a, you know, like a forced marriage that you didn't want to be in. You know what I mean? But I mean, we spent more time together than we spent with anybody else in our lives, which is really sad. But you know, some days we had a blast, and some days we just couldn't stand each other. So